Hello and good evening. I wasn't sure what the weather's like, so I chanced wearing shorts. I was correct for doing that. But I wore the coat anyway, just in case. I don't actually need it. So I'm off shopping and taking the opportunity to do a video. This one, it's to do with Exodus 20, 10 Commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods but me. And I will go straight to it. So we live in a world where people increasingly, for a long time, leading up to where we are now, have been participating in idolatry, whether they know it or not. Worshipping false idols, celebrities, etc. So I like to study people, not because I'm interested in them as such. More so, I live in this world, and in order for me to have the kind of life that I want, then I need to understand the people around me. Well, not just the people around me, people in general, because, we wander to and fro, far and wide sometimes, and it is important. Some people get homesick and the like, or they feel out of their depth. For me, it is important to be able to handle myself in any situation in which I place myself, or whichever situation presents itself to me. So I'm very much about studying people. But I don't go out actively looking for people to study. I only study them as they present themselves. So the latest one is a Beyonce fan. There's some advert or something that popped up on my Twitter feed featuring Beyonce, and she's helping people to find their voice. So of course, me being me, I responded by saying I hadn't realized that I misplaced my voice. Thank you, Beyonce, for finding it for me. Sarcastic eye roll. And up popped a Beyonce fan. And now there's something I notice about these types of people. You've got the Meghan Markle fans and the Beyonce fans. And Beyonce and Meghan Markle are sort of in the same stable with Oprah Winfrey and those types. So what I notice with them, they're illiterate. It might seem harsh, but her response to me, my book is called We Exist, Why? And among the things she said in her response was something about Beyonce doesn't even know that I exist. I mean, these people are so basic that you can predict. You don't need to be a mind reader. You can predict what their responses are going to be. So very basic. So she said, Beyonce doesn't even know that you exist. Exist, spelled E-X-I-T, as in exit. So, being quick-witted, I quickly went on Amazon, shared the link to my book, which is called We Exist, Why? And I responded by saying, I think the word you're looking for is exist, not exit. Something as basic like that you can't spell. You haven't taken the time to improve your literacy, but you are idolizing other people who don't know that you exist, in fact don't even care for your existence. So it bounced back and forth. It's the same thing with Meghan Markle fans. They've got the same spirit, same mentality, So it'll bounce back and forth, and the standard responses are, you're an ugly black woman, you're jealous, Beyonce is rich and famous and successful and talented, and you'll never be, you can stay there being jealous. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'd expect. I wouldn't expect that even from a 2-year-old. A 2-year-old would have more maturity in making a response to something that perhaps you might have said to them. Yeah, sure, they might say, yeah, just jealous, as a little child would. But for a full-grown adult, and I'm guessing that's an adult with children, or at least one child, and that's the level. And I wonder, but I don't wonder, I know, what does that type of adult have to impart to a child? Right, so this is where we are. So people wonder about the black community, why there are so many problems. It's because of idolatry. There's narcissism and idolatry, and you can't have, you can't serve two masters. You're either in the world or you're not in the world. And if sort of, you can't, and it's funny because a lot of them believe in God, but then again, which God do they serve? So they have these idols, and they go out batting for them. How dare you say anything in the negative? But I'm aware that there are lots of people who are afraid of being attacked by trolls. I don't have a problem with that, because I know how to answer people. Obviously, because I understand the nature of the way the human mind works. So when you approach me, I can tell by how you communicate or how you address me what you're made of, so I will know what weapons to use. So it's very interesting. This person, I don't know them from anywhere, coming in and taking offense on behalf of their idol. And not just taking offense, but attacking someone in that kind of way. So, people talk about religious fanatics and the like. Religion causes the most wars, etc. But I would argue that the cult of celebrity, that sort of idolatry, is no less, what's the word I'm looking for? Right, so those types of people, they may mock at religious people and call them stupid or mad or whatever. But to me, they're worse, because traditionally people have always believed in God. But this celebrity worship is something. All right, you had it going back in time where there were great men and women, but at least they achieved something and people looked up to them. But now you've got people who, I mean, what did Meghan Markle do? She married Prince Harry. But before that, nobody had heard of her, really. I most certainly hadn't. I don't know anyone who had heard of her. Beyonce, obviously, she's around. We are aware of her because she's around. But if you ask me to name 3 or 4 of her songs, I couldn't. So that's how much interest I have in somebody like Beyonce. On the other hand, you ask me to name you 25 Frank Sinatra songs, 25 Elvis Presley songs, Shirley Bassey songs, Gladys Knight songs. This type of artist, really great performers, artists. I can do that for you. That's what I'm more into those types of people, but I don't idolize them. I enjoy what they do, but you wouldn't get me if somebody was attacking Frank Sinatra. And I know what Frank Sinatra is. It's out there. He was, mixed up in with the mob and all sorts of things like that. Yes, I'm aware of that, but I still like his songs. I still like him as a performer. But I'm not gonna say, I wouldn't go and argue with anyone and say, oh no, he wasn't. It's lies. It's this. It's that. But that's what people do. They without knowing who their idols are behind the scenes, they will defend them to the death. They will even attack you. They will, in a situation, you could end up losing your life, I would argue, the way some of them are aggressive. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the real issue with that community. Not just that they idolize these people, like I said, like Meghan Markle and Beyonce, but also there's a rap culture, and they idolize these sorts of people who, when it comes down to it, they Cardi B, that sort of person, they've got nothing to offer them except to drag them on a downward path. The kind of if you like, the product that they offer them, the product being their art, or whatever you want to call it, their music. It's just the whole culture. It's just everything that comes with it. It's not edifying. It doesn't have the ability to lift the soul. Don't get me wrong, when I go out clubbing or partying, I do put in my request for Crazy in Love, because that's a hell of a tune, and I like dancing to that, so credit where credit is due. But that's about the sum total of whatever interest I might have in Beyonce. Beyond that one song, Beyonce doesn't actually do anything for me. Also, the idea that, like I said, with this one person, everything is focused on the externals: money, fame. What's the other thing? Money, fame, talent, beauty. I mean, I don't think Beyonce is beautiful myself. If you want to talk about beautiful people, I don't think so. But people would tell me that I'm jealous for saying that. But whatever. But anyway, I don't compare myself to other people. I don't look at that person and say, oh, that person's more beautiful than me. I'm more beautiful than that person. That's not my style. But I can say categorically, there's nothing in Beyonce's life that I would desire. She doesn't have anything that I want. I wouldn't want her marriage, her children, her money, her fame, nothing. You know why? Because for me, if I am to get any of those things, it will be because God in his good will determines that I should have them. So if it's not from him, I wouldn't want them. I don't look at people and envy anything about them. There's not one person on this earth that I wish that I could trade places with. That's not me. But I have to say, find it fascinating that people would look, the go-to argument is that you're jealous. It's the assumption that what these celebrities have, these are the things that are desirable. I don't think so. In the synopsis of my book, it says, can we find purpose and meaning from following our basic instincts and from achieving worldly status, accumulating wealth, etc. I've said this so many times, my idea of success is not fame and money. Those are not my idea of success. But that's for another conversation. That's for another day, another conversation. But like I said, it's just very interesting. And as far as I'm concerned, I know what it is, why some people cannot rise above the level where they are at. And at the end of the day, you can't do anything for them. People can campaign all they like and say Black Lives Matter and all of that, but until Black Lives Matter to black people, Black lives don't matter. And that's all I've got to say for now. Anyway, have a very good night and take care. Look after yourselves. Bye bye.